comment in the building. Good morning. On this rainy day, I just wanted to let y'all know something. Yeah, I got the smooth tones of lucid sound on. It is a rainy day. That's a fact. I'm gonna turn this off. I was just in the zone for a second, thinking. And I just wanted to hop on real quick and give a word of encouragement. Um, I would say this, and I have said this to people in my day-to-day life. Oftentimes, let me just put a disclaimer out there. Y'all know I do not preach that I'm perfect or that I've got it all together. There are many areas in my life that uh, I wouldn't say struggle, but I'm not quite where I want to be with certain things. And the whole point of it is realigning, getting back on track, right? And seeking to be as consistent as possible in those things that I know that can elevate me and the people around me, right? So when I hop on here and I say this stuff, it's not me coming from a position of man, power, you're always in here first. Good morning. When I come in here and I say this stuff, it's not me coming in here trying to like impress like I got it all together. It's to refocus myself and y'all uh because it's so easy to get distracted in the world we live in today. So I've been watching from time to time, like I'll just kind of sit in a corner somewhere and I'll observe my daughter. And I just kind of look at her mannerisms, look at what she does, how she talks, what she thinks about the world. And in some ways, a lot of ways, hold on, I'm gonna switch earphones real quick. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? All right, yeah. Uh in a lot of ways, like children in their purest form, it's like if you ever just sit and watch a child, Lord, don't put no music on behind it either. You ever just sit and watch a child, it's interesting to see, okay, good. It's interesting to see how they navigate this world. And the other day I was just watching my daughter kids have fun over the simplest things, right? She was having fun pretending that she was cooking me a dinner or a meal. And I was all fake food, but she has her own little kitchen and all that type of stuff. But it was just fun. And then we went outside and played in the snow. It was fun. And watching her take risks with little stuff like we got this really steep hill at my house, like steep hill, taking risks with no fear involved, trusting in her father and things like that. Let's go. Notifications in the building. Y'all be sure to hit that bell if you haven't already. Of course, y'all might have seen that last video, the studio update. It's gonna be a lot of different podcasts, I guess you could say, type content coming. But what I'm getting at is, I really believe, like I even got one of my lives. I just played around with monetizing it just to see what would happen, and it restricted it. And I was like, damn, okay. So, but that's okay. Um, because this message is for who it's for. I don't get caught up in the numbers. It is what it is, but there is a concern for people that want to be here and want to share these ideas and discuss and listen to what I'm doing. uh, and they're not getting it. That is a problem. I'm sure Google sees my searches and what I watch and has slowed down a little, and what I comment on other things has slowed down a lot of my content. But um, it's all good. Yeah, it can't be stopped. But no, you look. I kind of looked up at her and just what she was doing and her risk taking and imagination taking over, and a part of me kind of got sad because I was just like, man, this world, they don't deserve children. They don't deserve what it means to be the example of what it means to be human, right? Like I had this thought, we forget how to find fun in the little moments, whether that be with our kids, with our family, laughing at an innocent joke. We forget how to share. We forget how, and I don't think it's that we forget actively. I think it's we get so bogged down with the heaviness of adulthood, being responsible adults, that over time, we just forget in the sense that we elevate irrational things higher than what it means to be human. Like my daughter in her natural state, that's the natural human state, right? Being imaginative, taking risks, going after, like my daughter, she has no my daughter ain't got no business jumping over a scooter. Now her daddy used to stack pillows in the living room and jump over them. And by the time he was a sophomore in high school, he was dunking on people. But that's me. She ain't got, and I was doing that. I was jumping over pillows 7th, 8th grade year, right? She ain't got no business at 2 years old trying to jump over a scooter. Because if she lands on that scooter, she gonna hurt her pooter. She'll fall down. And I have to watch myself while I be targeting the children hard, trying to stop. Oh, facts. Facts. They do target them hard. Y'all wait till I share with y'all what they trying to do or what they're putting out there. I'll get on that in a minute. Um, but she's fearless. And in my quest to keep her safe, it is so tough to cultivate that risk taking fearlessness as a parent because um, I don't want my baby to get hurt, right? But sometimes that's how we learn about our environment is by getting smacked by the environment. So what is all the point of all this? The title of this live is You Can Do This. Here's the base fact, right? In this life as we know it was designed to have a beginning in this realm and an ending in this realm. What you do in between, what you choose not to do in between, in that dash, where that you were born in 92 and you're passing in 2070, that's a long time. But if you're born in 92 and you pass in 2070, right? Whatever you do in that dash is entirely up to you. Yeah, y'all let me know if y'all are lagging. It could be because of the rain out here. What you do in that dash is entirely up to you. But the problem is, in that dash, where we try to live life the way that we want to, our ways of thinking, living, and things like that get misdirected. We get distracted by needing to have a job. We get distracted by needing to uh, keep up with the news. And we get distracted by all these different things that keep us away from what I believe is our true purpose. I believe that as beings of light, I believe that as beings of love, our purpose is to expand and spread love. Okay, a little delay. I don't know what the heck is going on. Uh, Give me 1 second. Are we back? We'll try it this way. This should hold on. Now that might fixed it. That might have fixed it. Um, so y'all know I like to try to teach y'all what has helped me, right? The purpose of this channel is to share stories, um, anecdotal stories, to share my life as I continue to grow and learn things, to share what y'all I've done in the past that has helped me. The matrix is set up to keep the hamster in the wheel and stop us finding our true purpose. Fact. So we gotta have. I am. We have got to have tools for coping. Now, a lot of people their first refuge is religion. A lot of people's in Western culture, their first refuge is the Bible. Cool. I think what was happening was it was trying to connect to the Wi-Fi signal here. So big brain over here, big brain, always big brain. I know what's going on. Appreciate y'all. Couldn't have done it without you. So we got to have tools, right? We know this world is wicked. We know this world is inherently beautiful, but there are wicked forces that want to be in control of the power that is afforded to all of us here on earth. That is a fact. I don't care. I don't care who you are, what you believe. I It don't matter. I don't know what LLS is. I'm sorry, but it might be LOL. I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it, but I don't know. Um, so we got to have tools. So one of the biggest issues that I have seen in myself, this is coming from a person that has done I've done a quantum leap's worth of growth within the past 3 years. Um, Listen, self-limiting beliefs. Let's break this down. There's power in that statement. There's power in calling it a self-limiting belief. Anything that is not congruent with your self-image, that causes you to act outside of what it is you want to be, do, have in this world, is a self-limiting belief. Anything that keeps you from making that next step, that next move. Some of the Sumeru order keeps getting canceled. Can you mess me where you found some? I'm glad you said that because I need to take some more of my Sumeru. Um, I, I, man, here, this is what I had to do. Sumeru right here. I had to go to a local Sumeru store. I mean, a local health store. And I had another store order me some. So I'm going to go pick that up soon. I also bought the tincture off of Amazon. So the tincture is cool, but it's bitter. So if you're not good with taste, then I probably wouldn't do that. But yeah, that's what I did. So anyway, back at it. Self-limiting beliefs. So listen, here's the base fact. Every belief, experience, or suggestion gets filtered through what our personal self-image is, right? If at a young age, of course, if at a young age, us as children, we were, well, never cough until I get on live, man. Ain't that crazy? Maybe because I'm talking too much. At a young age, if at a young age as children, we were constantly put in an environment of perpetual fear, lack, and doubt, it will largely determine what our personal self-image is. I'm about to give y'all an insight into my life growing up. All right. God love my family, but this is just me. Maybe some of you guys can resonate with this and understand where I'm at in life. So, for the first 5 years of my life, I experienced consistent seizures. A large amount of them were febrile. So, what part of this caused there was always an air of fear over not only my life, but over things like having my grandmothers keep me, my mother taking me out to the store or going to church. There was always an air of fear, and rightfully so, right? But you have to think about the implications, the spiritual, energetic implications of this. And you guys know this. We don't need to go deep into the science, but understand this. If you go into a room of people that doubt you, if enough people there doubt you and your self image does not align with that of personal power, you're going to start doubting yourself. Imagine how prevalent that would be as a child. My parents, I had a very interesting dynamic in my home. My mother was a bit of a uh, let's just say my mother's still here. My mother's she's a great mother and she's grown a lot. But let's just say my father had to teach our family how to love, right? Because that was his upbringing. My grandmother was a very loving grandmother. My mother's mother, it wasn't until, fairly recently that she understood what it meant to love by way of her grandchildren. My grandmother never said I love you until I continually said I love you every time I saw her, every time I left. It was the first time she ever said that. There's a whole family history behind all that, but understand my mother's upbringing. This is what I had to understand about my mother. My mother's upbringing wasn't like mine. My mother's upbringing was one of playing it safe and one of not seeking to do much more than a woman should seek to do. So when my mother got her doctorate, my grandmother, we knew she was proud, but my mother's education journey, my grandmother kind of would say and do kind of things to kind of bring her down to her level of her self-image or the image of what she thought a woman should be, right? So I'm saying a whole lot, but I'm comfortable saying it because I'm going to be deleting this. So imagine me being raised in that environment where I've got damn near two polar opposites. Um, but the very basis of my upbringing was rooted in that of fear. So starting out, my self image was that of doubt and fear, right? I was a self conscious kid, but I was a creative kid. I was drawing Disney characters with pinpoint accuracy at like the age of 6 or 7. I was dope. I drew, man, I wish I could find, I drew this thing and might have been in middle school. I drew this image of Michael Jordan freehand of him jumping up with a basketball to dunk with his tongue out. And the basketball was the eye of this huge wolf, just laser focused on the basket. I gotta find that photo because that was one of the dopest things I ever created as a kid. I was sick with it, right? But why did I stop creating? That's gonna be another tangent. I'm not gonna get off on that. I had a low self-image. It wasn't until I got involved in sports that I started to put my confidence in what I could do on the court. So all of my eggs were in that basket because I started to see little glimmers of hope and I started to build my self-image, but it began and ended on the court, right? So that's all good, right? If you're gonna make a career out of it. And I thought I would. But what happens when you take that away? You take that away from a kid that turns 17, 18, and he's left to figure his self-image out all over again. Now, and in high school, I was that kid that would walk around with the Bible, and that helped me. It helped me to raise my awareness and my consciousness above this physical realm, and I put a lot of my confidence in God and confidence in having that relationship. And that helped me for a while until life smacked me, like smacked me, and I realized there's a time lag between what you want in life, what you pray for, and when and whether you'll get it. And it was almost like, oh dang, this is different. This is this is different. This is not what I expected. This ain't what the Bible teaches, right? So I'm painting a picture so you can understand where I'm getting at and why I'm saying you can do this. The science shows that up until the age of 25, specifically for males, your brain more easily can assimilate new information. Now, there's also science now showing that something known as neuroplasticity will allow us to change at any age, but it does get harder as you get older because some of those beliefs and those neural connections, they get cemented in your brain. So how do we combat this? Here's the formula. You have to get clear about what you want and who you want to be. Write it down on paper. Matter of fact, this is what I've done because it's kind of hard to do that in the beginning and believe it, right? When you have a lower self-image. It's kind of hard to do that. So I'll write outlandish stuff. I'll be like, I'm I'm a superhero and I can see through walls. I have $400 trillion in the bank account. I'll just write silly stuff like that. Why am I doing that? It's because I'm getting my imagination going. I'm loosening up the chains of all of that deep rooted low self-esteem, self-limiting belief systems that I had, and I'm opening up the imaginative mind, right? So once I get all that imagination stuff out of the way and I'm in a mind state where I've overridden my analytical brain, which is the left side of the brain, I will then go into writing down goals that are specific to me. So me personally, I believe that I can make double what I currently make. I believe I can do more than that. I believe I can make what I make in a year, in a month, through business and different avenues. So I'll write down that number and I'll say, I currently am making X, Y, Z. I'm currently uh, the greatest father to my daughter that I can possibly be. Da 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 da. And I'll write all this stuff down. These become a part of my affirmations, and I will constantly look at these things. I got them, some of them written down right here. I will constantly be looking at these things. Why do I do that? Because when I get to writing them down, I write them down in a way where they elicit a certain type of feeling that aligns with those affirmations, right? So every time I review them, it's putting me back in that mind state, right? Putting me back in that mentality that I am what it is I'm writing about being. Why is this important? Because this is the formula that got you into the point to where you think that you can't do things, you can't have things, you can't see things in life. This is the formula: repetition, imagination, and feeling. You can do it. I say all that to say this: you can do it, whatever it is. Let me tell y'all, I have come out of some really weird situations on top. I've come out of some like y'all might have heard the story before. There was a time in my life where I didn't know where my next paycheck was coming from, man. Long story short, I had to leave a job because they wouldn't give me enough time to assist my family because my father passed, right? So I determined that something that's important to me is family. When I'm needed and my family is needed, I'm not putting the job above my family. I don't care. Because you know what? People might say you put your family at risk by not working. No, I'll find another way to make money. I'll sit on the corner. I'll juggle. I don't know. I'll find a way to get food, to put food in my family's mouth. That's cool to keep a roof over their head. I ain't never had a problem with that. But there was a time where it was getting close. And I remember I was studying a lot of this stuff pretty heavily. And I got my imagination and feeling to the point to where it would almost be like in my mind, I would think of something and I would know that by the end of the day it was gonna happen. I had no I had no friction in my communication line between me and God, right? I remember my wife was sitting on the couch talking, and I said, "Hey, I don't know how to explain this. I have no clue." I said, "But as far as money goes, I know we're gonna be all right. I know we're gonna be all right. I just know it." And the way that I said it, her response, like looking at me, was kind of like it was almost like somebody had taken over the conversation, the situation that was higher than me, and was talking directly to her, because she looked at me like, "I believe you, damn." You know what I mean? Like, "I believe you. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but I believe you, right?" And I wasn't really up to nothing. I had nothing in the works. Um, Nothing in the works outside of some a job that was coming down the line, but that wasn't gonna pay what we needed. Not 5 minutes later, I get a phone call. "Hey, we've got a wedding that needs to be shot this weekend. What is your rate?" I said, "Well, what do they want?" Long story short, that ended up being a $1,200 lick right off the bat that weekend, right? But here's the kicker. When I went to set up the paperwork, because I sent some paperwork to the woman that wanted her daughter's wedding shot, I sent her the paperwork. And in my business email at the time when I had this business, I had another email from a corporation that wanted me to edit, a business that wanted me to edit for them. That was like another 850, right? So I made 2 grand. I was going to make about 2 grand within 2 weeks. Over 2 grand within 2 weeks. I kid you not. And it was in that moment that I realized, hey, there's something to this stuff. Because I've had other instances. I've manifested cars, I've manifested money, job opportunities, I've manifested people, I've manifested free food. I manifest the hell out of free food. I don't know what that's about. I'd rather convert that into money right now. But I've manifested like uh homes. Well, a home. Oh no, homes. I've manifested homes. Uh, I've manifested relationships. Man, it's been a wild ride, but that only comes when that friction level is down and my self image resonates higher than what the world tells me. This world does not have your best interest in mind, and what I mean by this world is the loudest voices of the day, the people that control the narrative. They don't have your best interest in mind. That's a fact. So a lot of y'all don't study the occult and understand what the occult is up to. A lot of them believe that you are born to be treated the way that we get treated. A lot of them believe that it's your fault, and largely it is. Treating like that. That's why school system be trying to stop the creative. Man, let me tell you, my daughter is, and I've told somebody this before, and I said, listen, I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it because I think he did a lot of good things, but nobody wants to associate their children with somebody that's largely hated. But my daughter's like a little Trump because she is like, I've never seen somebody be so effective at negotiating and getting her way. This is how my daughter gets what she wants. All right. Daddy, daddy. Yeah, baby. Can I have a snack? No snack. You cannot have a snack. Stop asking. Maybe later? No, no snack. Just one cashew. Okay, you can have one cashew later. Okay, later. She'll leave. She'll play a little bit of the. She'll come back. Daddy, can I have a cashew? Yes, baby. You can have one cashew. Yes, one cat. Maybe two cashews. Okay, you can have two cashews. All right, give her two cashews. Daddy, can I have a pistachio? No, you just had two cashews. Just one stachio was a pistachio. No, you can't. You're not getting any more snack. She'll leave and she'll come back. Dad, I want a snack. I want a snack. She'll continue to do this, and then she'll end up getting her way. Why? She's constantly. It's kind of like the same thing with affirmation. She repeats what it is that she wants constantly, and on a imaginational level, she's implanting. She's seeding that thought within me. She's seeding that thought of giving that to her within me, and I'm also getting annoyed, so that helps. But it's interesting. Could you eventually explain manifesting versus praying? I could do that right here. I can make it really simple. Uh, at their root, they're essentially the same. But the problem with a lot of people is they have a limited belief of who God is. Um, most people pray. You can pray and manifest through prayer. You can meditate and manifest through meditation. But the problem that I see, and even with myself with prayer, is when you pray, it's almost like you're praying to a it's almost like people pray to a bank, or they're praying to a parent that is reluctant to give. They pray to an entity that would suggest that maybe they may not get what it is they want. They do. It's crazy. It's crazy. Um, so when you pray, the Bible, even Christ even taught that you need to pray and believe that you receive. When you believe that you receive something, so here's the problem. Here's the problem. We've got an issue with people feeling worthy for what it is that they want, and that causes them when they pray, they have the small inclination to doubt. I hear a lot of people when they pray, they say, "Lord, if it's your will, can X, Y, and Z happen?" Well, if you're asking for something in love, if you're asking for something that is to advance you, your family, uh, by any means, whether it's money, a home, if it's something that will lead to contributing to the advancement or helping of somebody else or yourself, if it's something that is rooted in love, then it is God's will. It is the universe's will. It is the source's will. Adversely, if you have a belief that increase, if you have a belief that prosperity, being rich and wealthy, if you have a belief that that is something that is selfish, then you won't get it if that's what you pray for, because you have this filtration system that will filter out all that stuff. It'll filter out what you say you want from what you actually deeply feel you deserve. You can't go your whole life being subjected to money problems and believing that the root of all money is evil and rich people are bad people, and then want to be a rich person. That's not congruent with your thoughts. And this is how a lot of people pray. They pray outwardly for one thing, but inwardly they feel different. And don't get me started on people praying in front of people. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you, most prayers that happen that occur in front of people are largely empty, because a lot of times we see people pray to impress. See, this is why I stopped praying over food. People used to make fun of me. They used to be like, "Oh, you sit up, you sound like you talking to a regular person. You sit up, spend all this time talking about X, Y, and Z." Because when I pray over food, like I pray, I command it to speak it into existence. My higher self knows what facts. Like I used to pray over food, and I used to pray like this would be a typical prayer for me. And I hate to do this because it's kind of going against what I'm saying, but I've done it so many times that this is the prayer I would say. Father, thank you for allowing us to be able to congregate in this way. Thank you for this food and the means by which to obtain it. We know that a lot of people may not be afforded this opportunity, Father. We appreciate what it means to have a relationship with you, and we hope that in this time that we spend together eating and communing, that we're able to elevate to a new level of love and influence in each other's life that positively impacts our family and this world. Father, we ask that you rid this food of any impurities for the betterment and nourishment of our body. We ask that you're with our leaders. We ask that you're with, anything that comes to mind that I know is going to affect the people in the room, things that are, praying for people that are, who have lost people. We have, I pray about that stuff. And people used to make fun. They used to be, it's kind of funny. They used to be like, damn, boy, just pray over the food, man. Don't even pray for world peace. Just pray over damn food. Boy, you said it's about 20 minutes, man. I could eat about 3 plates. But they used to joke, and it is funny. But so I stopped praying, right? Because when I was praying over people's lives. Like I felt connected. So I stopped praying. So when I stopped praying, they had other people praying. Then that's when they want me to go back to praying because they didn't like how the other prayers felt. Because folks sitting up, worried about saying the right thing, stumbling over words and messing up the vibe. And by the time the prayer's over with from somebody else, you don't even want to eat because your appetite's off. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna stop praying. I'll pray for myself and my family. That's another thing. I don't let anybody just pray for me. Like, you will never see me. I won't be that person to go on Facebook and be like, yo, I need prayer. Can you pray for me? There's a select group of people that I know uh, that are connected and understand these concepts and will pray. When people ask me to pray for them for something, I don't just like, I put it into my meditative practice. If they want healing for a family member or whatever, I will literally shut out the world and pray for them and literally go to God with it. I'll go inward with it and then go to God. So to answer your question, that's the main difference between prayer and manifestation. They're kind of one and the same. It just depends on how you say it. Manifestation is the result of proper prayer, proper meditation, proper thinking. If you do those things correctly, if you marry an imaginative thought with a clear goal and a specific feeling, it has no choice but to happen. Now, the timing may differ. The timing may differ. And some people don't like that, but you got to understand sometimes if you're praying for something big, that timing is a blessing because if everybody got everything they wanted instantly, then the power would be off. It'd be off. If it would be chaos. If I prayed for a new car, if I pray for a new car and somebody else prayed for that same exact new car, well, then who gets the car? It's hard to tell how to distinguish the two, but still learning. Understand. Understand. Sometimes it can be hard, but the problem with prayers, there's a lot of stigma behind and dogma behind prayer. Prayer in itself is manifestation and it is meditation. But the church will have you believe that the former are devilistic or are in direct opposition to God. No, it is God. The nature of God is to acknowledge both sides. God acknowledged the devil and did not that much about it. God understands balance. God is balance. God is love. I see God in everything. You know, it's almost like it's an ingenious design to understand that in order for your creation to understand being created, you have to afford the opportunity to see evil. It's kind of ingenious, and I don't know that we would understand it because people say, why does God let bad things happen? I don't think God necessarily lets bad things happen. I believe that God set up the rules, put the rules in motion, and then things on earth either happen or they don't. And when they happen, we determine whether it's good or bad. We 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 ourselves, we will say that it's good or bad. Like, I'm not gonna go there, but it's deep. Like, if we don't, if we never had the concept of evil, we would never appreciate the good. If we never had the concept of good, then we would never have a concept of evil, and vice versa. Excuse me. So it is different to distinguish the two. But I'm gonna tell y'all, like, one of the biggest things. If you're having, here's the secret. Everybody's got a secret. There's nothing new under the sun. That's the secret. But if you're having a hard time marrying a feeling with a thought or something that you want to manifest, my first suggestion is to start with building an inner awareness. That can be through meditation, that could be through sitting and contemplating. A lot of people are not aware of the inner game, what's going on the inside. What do I mean by that? When you get into a heated situation, like for me, I am I'm convinced there's nobody, there's nobody in my circle that can handle massive stress the way that I can handle it. What happens for me, massively stressful situations. So think about the most stressful thing that you've ever been through, and I can tell you what goes on internally, or what would go on internally if it were to happen to me. So let me think. One of the most stressful things that I ever had to do was perform CPR on a 2-month-old infant. That was probably the most stressful, high stakes situation. You've got a mother crying while you're trying to work. You've got a virtually lifeless newborn child in your hands. You're in the back of an ambulance that is moving and wavering left and right. Imagine the amount of stress, even if you knew what you were doing, that you would have. But the effect that it has for me, because I'm aware of I have a high level of inner awareness, then I'm able to look at those feelings and quickly discard the ones that will not serve me in that moment. So, while I can tell you what was going through my mind while I was doing CPR on this child, uh, I did not for a second entertain the thought that the child was going to pass. That did not come into that didn't even come into my aura, whatever you want to call it. That didn't exist. My only job was to administer laser focused care to this child. Right. That's all we all focused on in the back. And it wasn't just me. It was a param. It was two paramedics. It was me, and I was in charge of administering breaths and intermittent um, compressions, and stabilizing the child to the cot while they did. I think they did an IO, which is an intraosseous administration of medicine, which is when they take this specific needle, they plunge it into the leg of the child, and intraosseous means into the bone. It goes directly into the bone because at that age it's really tough to penetrate the venous system because they're so small. And in acute trauma situations, it's long story short, this is just the best option to save the child's life. So in that situation, I'm literally laser focused. I probably never have better focus than when I'm stressed. And I think I've also been primed for this throughout my life because I was always the kid that would make, like, I'd have an assignment due in like 2 days, and I would wait. I would have known about it for a whole month, but I'll wait to the end. And what ended up happening would be I would make something that seemed like I had a whole year to spend on it, end up acing that bad boy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, yeah, that's cool. It's cool to talk about on the back end, but that also had implications in the future because it caused me to procrastinate in a lot of ways on a lot of things because I was rewarded for being good at the last minute. I didn't have to think about being prepared, and that's something that I've had to change. I had to recognize that it's a gift and a curse. I have to know when to open that bad boy up. I can't be that person 24/7. Anyway, I got off on a tangent, but if you have a problem with manifesting and you have a problem with marrying feelings with a thought or an imagination, it is because you do not have the proper amount of inner awareness, or any at all. You may not have any at all. So, Stacy, I would advise you try that out. And look, check this out. I just took 4 pills at once. Woo! Y'all can't tell me I ain't a bad man. Uh, y'all already know what to do. I'm willing to venture to say that you already know what to do. You know how to manifest. You know the prerequisites, but a lot of times we don't want to do the work because what we want it now. All right, we want it right now. We want it right now. Why do we want it right now? Because at a very basic, elementary level, when we want things to happen right now, what are we communicating? We're communicating that we have no trust. We are communicating that we don't have it, that we're not worthy. We're communicating energetically that we don't have what it is that we want. So we have to get to a point to where when we want to manifest something or we want to do something, we put it out there and we trust. When I have done that, things have happened lightning fast. Lightning fast. And that's where a lot of times for me, I kind of struggle a little bit. Because sometimes you don't really want nothing until you need it, right? So how does that work? How does manifestation work when you really want something? Because you need it or you feel like you need it. This is where trust becomes paramount. You got to trust. Trust in your worthiness, trust in God and the power that God has to bring about what it is that you want. Trust that I thought that my pre-workout was in here because I was about to take it. Uh, so yeah, I hope all that made sense. You can do this. I don't say that lightly, man. Let me just. I gotta say that. I don't. Boy, I'm losing it. It was right here the whole time. I don't say that lightly. You can do this. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, whatever it is that you want to do, block out the noise, block out the world, get clear about it. What you want. Me, I want a life of freedom. I want a life of all out abundance in every area of life. You know why? Here's the biggest reason why. Because I can't stomach looking myself in the mirror or looking my daughter in the eyes and teaching her that she can be everything that she wants to be while simultaneously not doing that myself. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? It's hypocritical. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to let this roll while I do my pre-workout. If y'all got any questions, if y'all have any videos that y'all want to see, like deep dives, if y'all want me to go into, like, I'm serious about getting a microscope and measuring my blood before and after a meditation session. I really want to do that, like, not even joking, and make a whole video on it. But if there's any books that motivate you, yes. There's one book in specific that if you're having self-limiting beliefs and issues, the book is called Recreate Your Life Through the Morty Lefko Method. This book will walk you through the questions, the thought processes that go into changing what you allow yourself to believe. It is called Recreate Your Life Through the Morty Lefko Decision Making Process. And essentially, it goes through a series of questions that positions you as the creator instead of the creation. It allows you to look at the portion of yourself that is the creator, the God in you, to determine what you believe about yourself and your environment so that you can have, do, and live the way that you want or the life that you want. That book right there, big book. I love that book. Another book is a little bit more hardcore. It pushes your level of awareness far beyond what most people are comfortable with doing. David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me. Um, Another book, The Magic of Thinking Big, a great book. I'm currently reading a book called The Six Pillars of Self Esteem. I forget who the author's name is. I got books on deck. I'm trying to read like at least 20, 30 books this year. It's a goal for me. Um, so guys, I appreciate y'all, man. I just want to pop on and remind you of your power. So imagine this. I'm trying to think of one of the most powerful things that we have in life that can. All right, check this out. Imagine you are a computer. You are the nicest computer that has ever been built, able to process large amounts of data within a matter of seconds. With the proper guidance and person directing you, you can run a business on what it is you are. World nations can be ran on what it is that you have inside you. You are like a $50,000 computer, supercomputer, but you're just sitting there in an office, not being used. That's the analogy I feel like a lot of us is. Like, we're not plugged in. You got to get plugged in. You got to get plugged in. Once you get plugged into that power, once you get plugged into that truth, the sky's the limit for what you can do. The sky is the limit for what you can do. That's a fact. Plug in. Unplug from the matrix. Plug into your own dynamic. Plug into your reality. Plug out of the matrix. Once I take my last sip, I'm out of here. So if y'all want to leave now, feel free. I ain't gonna do nothing but vibe and answer questions. But once that last sip is down to that last drip, we're done here. Oh, and send suggestions if you for any new content that you might want to see. I will ask for that. Son Eli, appreciate you. I'm excited to see what you do this year. Virus or not, we fearless over here. Hey, I appreciate you. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. All my life experience. What am I supposed to do with my life experiences? What else? Hold them in and tell them when I'm 90 years old to my children's children? No, I'm sharing it. So hopefully it can help somebody else. So y'all don't waste the time that I wasted. So I appreciate you for being here. Again, if you ain't getting my notifications, you need to be hitting that bell. You need to be subscribed. You need to be doing all that stuff because If you haven't seen the first installment of The War at Birth, I talk about a lot of this in the human condition. And once my computer, my main computer, um, isn't so screwy, actually, I just need to buy a new one, man. That's an excuse. I just need to buy a brand new one. Um, I'll be able to upload part two. But if there's anything that y'all want to see coming down the pipe, if you want to see or hear me talk about anything in depth, um, I really, I would love to do an interview. I want an interview style podcast, show, whatever, of people talking about moments in their lives where they've manifested or had prayers answered. That's something that like interests me. I want a news network of good news. I want a news network that explores what it means to be human and the innate power that we have. That's what I want. I don't want to hear about another shooting. I don't want to hear about another hostage situation. I don't want to see no update on the fraudulent numbers of the death toll for this virus. I'm just taking the cap off now. I'm over all that. I'm over the lies, man. If I could sum up the past 2 years with one word, I would say lies. Lies. I ain't one of them people that doesn't believe that there's a virus, sickness, or whatever. Uh, but I know these numbers are wrong. I could tell y'all a story about a situation, but I can't say too much. Also, y'all be aware. There is a. I'm gonna say this before I leave. If you're part of the 6 people here, y'all be aware. There is a such thing as cloud seeding that's going on that influences different types of weather. I can and I use them other than help guide my thinking. I love that. I like watching your videos anytime, and I can use them. Facts. I'm glad that that's. I'm glad. That's the whole point of it. It's not about me elevating myself to a level that's like I don't use this to boost my ego. Yeah, it feels good that people resonate, but I mean, anybody that knows me is like, this is the stuff I talk about. When we're alone and able to go one on one, I talk about human potential. I talk about the fact that they got kids that expand their consciousness outside of just the realms of the confines of the 5 senses, and they can read books with blindfolds on. That's the stuff I talk about. I talk about consciousness and awareness. I talk about the day that I had an overwhelming. Do I think 5G is connected somehow? Man, I can see how people will come to that conclusion. I can see how people will come to that conclusion, but I don't know. I've looked into it and it's a lot of plausible stuff, but it's like if we've had 5G already, why is it just now happening? You know what I mean? That's the thing for me. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I think on that one. To be real, I don't really know what I think. I can see it being a possibility, but if we've had 5G this whole time, why would it just be happening the past couple months? You know what I mean? That's my hang up. Now, I do know that they spray silver iodide in the atmosphere to influence weather. They say that they do it. I got a video that was they've had this technology for almost a decade. It's called cloud seeding. What happens when you subject silver iodide to like not even a low temperature water, like relatively cold water, it freezes up and you can cause there to be snow. There was snow in northern Africa the other day. The thoughts for me, not doing it. No way. If you want to get it, I think you should be able to get it. But when I don't care what people say. When the man that was responsible for the technology of the administration of the snake bite comes out and says, I do not believe that people should be using this technology for CV19. I already wasn't going to do it. But after that, I damn sure wasn't going to do it. What is the incentive versus the risk? For a young, healthy adult, people are getting it and still getting the the virus and still having relatively severe reactions in some cases. I see no incentive. I had it, so that's another layer of me not getting it. If I need a booster, then to me it suggests that the first one was it has a waning effectiveness. When they told us in the beginning it had a 97% effectiveness, and that it was projected to last for a long time. And then they came out and said, well, we can't verify if it's going to last beyond 6 months. And then they said, well, no, now you need, it's like the goalpost keeps getting moved. So, no, not doing it under no circumstance. None, none. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Uh, Listen, I want my daughter to have as normal of a life as she can. She will probably never remember these years of the virus. Never. My daughter, under no circumstance. First of all, she just ain't gonna do it herself. She's not gonna wear a mask. She's just not. She's a Taurus, and I don't know everything about astrology and horoscope, but she lines up with being a Taurus. She is not going. She's very strong-willed, and you can't make her do something she don't, unless it's me and her mom. You can't make her do something she don't want to do. So when it comes to the mask, she ain't going. She'll rip it off. She'll put it on for a second, be like, ha 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 ha, and then she'll rip that bad boy off. So no. See, and I'm gonna say this, and I got to bounce. I'm gonna say this, and I got to bounce. Listen, in my family, we take the herbs, we take the medicines, we do the supplements. Grand risings. We do the supplements, but there's another level of medicine that I partake in. And anytime my daughter has been very ill or my wife has been very ill, I will typically do this is what I will do. We'll take all the medicines that we can before we take any doctor's medicines. But before we do that, I will go into a state of fasting and like intense meditation. Intense. Thoughts on suicide. I I just don't think that I don't think we should do it. I think I think when a person commits suicide, they're immediately giving away their power. There have been times where, and I'll just be straightforward, there have been times where I thought, man, this world would be better off if I wasn't here. That is a lie from the pit of all lies. I never thought that I would go through with anything like that. But to entertain that thought, even for a second, was big for me. But they came at a time in my life where I was at my lowest. But it's funny, it didn't last that long. Uh, so I don't think that it should be done. I think there should be more tools out there specifically for everybody, but specifically for men. Men are nearly 4 times more likely to commit suicide. Men constitute for almost 90% of suicides. There is nothing out there in a large scale way that tells men, gives them an outlet to express their feelings and their emotions in a place that's safe. You know what I mean? Like, and I hate saying safe place, but like to be real, I'm cool with sucking it up. That's me. But it's probably held me back in many ways. I'm a suck it up kind of person. Like, I'm not gonna really complain about conditions and situations. I'm not gonna cry about stuff. I'm not gonna, I'm a man up. I'm gonna do all that stuff, and it helps me in so many ways. But in other ways, it might have held me back. So I don't think we should do that. I say no to suicide. Um, I think you can overcome anything. I think it is an inherent ability for a human to overcome any and everything. I used to think that you should let people do what they want to do. If they wanted to kill themselves, let them do it. I mean, hey, but as I've learned more about what ancients believe, as I learn more about where we come from, what we're capable of, nah. Yeah, so when I eat a lot of berries and eat superfoods, but I'm trying to build my immune system more. Oh yeah. One of the biggest things I would do to build my immune system would be to take adaptogenic herbs, but I would also do a cleanse. And the best thing that I think that you can do for your immune system is taking some type of pre or probiotic. I Before I take supplements, I try to down some type of probiotic. Here shortly, I'm going to do an extended fast. Maybe I should do a daily check-in on my fasts on YouTube. Maybe that's what I'll do. All right, man. I'm almost down to my last drip, my last sip. If you got a suggestion for a video, go to my last video of the studio test. Put the suggestion for that video there. I will take those suggestions. I will start scripting for those, and I'll get those videos out. Made by Mahi. Uh-oh. Y'all want to see y'all want me to do a fast? You're welcome. All right, party people. Seems like that's something y'all want to do. If you want to see a fast video that chronicles a fast, if you whatever you want to see, because I've got in my mind what I want to do already. Really. Likewise. Hey, made by Mahi, send me a message or whatever about your post on your IG, and I'll try to I'll check that out because I want to be a part of that. So um go back to my most recent post, comment there what you want to see with the new studio setup, what topics you want to go into. And what I like to do is I like to do a deep dive. Like, I like to get anecdotal support, scientific support, and it'll be I hate mushrooms. Like, I hate just regular mushrooms. It'll be easy to fast. That's funny. I've never had psilocybin mushrooms. But yeah, go back to my latest video, comment what it is that you want to see with the new studio setup, and we'll get it going. I like to do anecdotal. Provide some scientific, and then provide an ancient twist. There's nothing new under the sun. All right, till next time. Made by Mahi. Send me some on Instagram so I